Greetings, students. In this video, I want to explain a very important concept now that we are getting into music production, and is the way that we organize music. How is it that we give organization to a song? And for that, we're going to talk about form. Form is nothing else but the organization that we give to music, the structure of songs, that alternation of different parts that we can identify in a song, which is it what gives it its structure, its organization. Now, basically, all types, all styles of modern music, being pop, rock, hip hop, rhythm and blues, or even techno, all of them rely in the alternation of two main parts or two very distinctive parts, which are verse and chorus. Okay, verse and chorus, they both have similarities, but they also have some things that differentiates them from each other. The verse is typically softer or less dynamic than the chorus, while the chorus, as opposed to the verse, is typically louder or more dynamic than the verse. Now, this doesn't mean necessarily that the volume is always going to get softer or louder between verse and chorus. When I say less dynamic and more dynamic, what I'm making reference to is how many elements are put into place, how many instruments, what kind of instruments, and what is it that each instrument that is present does during the verse and during the chorus. Normally in the verse is more calm, is less dynamic, while in the chorus it has more features, and that is why it's more dynamic. Now, when we talk about the similarities of both of them feature the same kinds of instruments sounding simultaneously. This is something very important to understand. When we say that both verse and chorus feature drums, bass, harmonic instruments, and melodic instruments, I'm making reference that all of these instruments, they sound simultaneously. They all sound at the same time. It isn't like the drums sound first and then the drums stop, and then the bass sounds and then the bass stops, and then a harmonic instrument sounds and that stops, and then a melodic instrument sounds and then that stops. It never is like that. You normally have all of these instruments sounding at the same time, sounding simultaneously, the drums, the bass, your harmonic instruments, and your melodic instruments. Now, when I say harmonic instruments and melodic instruments, what I'm making reference to is the following. Harmonic instruments can come in the form of guitar, piano, organ, synthesizer pad, etc. These are instruments in which you can play more than one note at the same time. In one single instrument, one single musician can play several notes together. Like in the guitar, when you strum the 6 strings, you're playing 6 different notes at the same time. Like in the piano, when you play with all of your 10 fingers, you're playing 10 notes at the same time, same as in the organ or in the synthesizer. And when I talk about melodic instruments, I'm talking about instruments like the voice. Yes, the human voice is considered a musical instrument, like horns or brass, like for example the trumpet or the trombone, woodwinds, which can be like the clarinet, the saxophone, the flute, the guitar lead or the synthesizer lead, and many others. Melodic instruments are instruments that can only play one single note at a time, even when they play very complex and beautiful melodies that can range from very soft and with very long notes to other melodies that are more dynamic that feature many notes one after the other very fast. They can only produce one note at the same time. The musician that plays them can only produce one note at a time. That is why they are called melodic instruments. So this is basically what we need to know about form at this point. All of the different styles of modern music, they all rely on the alternation of parts that are identifiable, and that they all feature contrast and also cohesion between them. And the most prominent ones that we're going to find in most of the styles of modern music are the verse and the chorus, being the verse a little bit softer and less dynamic than the chorus, which is typically louder and more dynamic than the verse. See you next time.